Welcome to this session. This has been a pretty incredible week for both of us. Sunday night, about a little over a week ago, was one of the worst of my life. Terribly uncomfortable, intestinal pain, a lot of gas. Monday morning, when I woke up, the body said there was a session needed and it was urgent. I went ahead and planned it as usual and began it, and as I was doing it, my body told me that if I had gone to a physician with this situation, I would probably by now be operated on and have my appendix removed. The body basically told me I had urgent appendicitis. The session did pretty well. I was kind of ticked off because I couldn't play tennis that night, but we've done pretty well all in all. And gradually the recovery has been very interesting. I find myself asking the question, what is the appendix good for? We seem to be so willing to say that all of these various parts of our body that do not seem to be muscles are of no use whatever. Well, it's not a totally trivial looking thing. It's about 8 centimeters long, narrow little tube, and there's some blood flow to it. It must be of some use. What would such a thing be useful for? Well, it connects to the digestive tract after the small intestine, literally at the junction between the small intestine and the large intestine. So there's one thing that it might be really good for. There are certain things that are supposed to be complete as the food passes from the stomach through the small intestine. By the time things reach that point, those tasks should have been accomplished. Like what? Number one, there should be no sugar left. That should have been digested. It should be gone. Number two, there should be no fats left either. You should have digested them. They should be gone. Or if there are any left that are supposed to be taken care of in the large intestine, well, I suspect that the management of this process very likely lies in the appendix, because that's where the information really is. And in fact, the appendix is perfectly situated to apply digestive juices if they're needed to remedy things. My body suggests, in fact, that the deterioration of my appendix began around age 3 or 4, that by age 8 there was so little left of its capability that I became diabetic. And age 8 is in fact about when I started having major sugar problems. Well, I have what seems to be a functioning appendix. I will not say everything is totally normal there. There must still be a whole lot of stuff left to get rid of, but, well, it's not all that huge in an organ anyway. I mean, it's only about that long and it's rather narrow, so, and I know a bunch of stuff has dumped through the digestive tract because it's been pretty uncomfortable on occasion. Still, my guess is the body is moving a lot of these management tasks back to where they belong. And it's a bit confusing at times, but in the end I think this is exactly what I want to happen. This kind of management belongs there, and that's really a very good thing. I suspect that in every case these crises are the result of the body's decision We've just gone as far down this road as we're willing to take it. Now it's time to confront it head on, manage it properly, shut down the stuff that we need, and go back to where we belong. And I think that's what I'm doing in this case. My wife went through a session. In her case, it was the vomiting again. It was precipitated in every case by occasions when she would eat something including soy or a flavor enhancer including excuse me, MSG, monosodium glutamate, glutamic acid. Any of these glutamates that are intended to trigger major changes in the endocrine system. Apparently, and this is her statement, the issue was in the gallbladder. There was an infection here which was literally throwing up its hands in the presence of any of these chemicals. And we scheduled a session for her right after mine was finished. I will say by now, it's a little more than a week later, that I believe that the task was accomplished, because 2 days ago she had a small amount of, I think, salad dressing that included a little bit of both of these forbidden chemicals, and she's perfectly happy now. I am very grateful. These methods seem to work. In every case when we have a crisis, they take care of them immediately. I am very grateful. I recommend them to you. I especially recommend them to you based on the fact that we are not going to any experts to find out what to do. We're just experimenting for ourselves. And we're listening a lot. If we can do it, so can you. Talk to you later.